Hello and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. In this episode, we're going to take a look at some vehicles we haven't looked at probably in a long time, and just keep going around and seeing where we can make traffic better for all of the cities we have on our map. So first, I would like to come and look at our planes here, just to make sure that they're all still making us profits, which it does seem like it. Although this line here, the one that comes into this airport, we're still having a few issues with. Now, the issue we have here at this airport is we have too many planes coming to it, and a lot of the planes that are trying to come in, such as this one, have to abort their landing because the runway is already occupied. So, what we're going to need to do is, now that we have sort of progressed a good bit in time, we can place down a second runway, which will greatly increase the amount of planes we can have coming in here at one time. However, as you can see here, we don't quite have space for it. So, thankfully all we have to do is just delete 2 roads. I think those 2 should do it. And we should be able to squeeze this in. It looks like we still have some issues. I think we might just need to get rid of a few more roads, such as this one, and maybe 1 or 2 of these. So now we should have more than enough room where we can place a second runway down. And I believe the planes should use these runways accordingly. And that should allow for many more planes to come in here all at the same time. Because currently, I think the issue is these planes just aren't able to land quick enough. So they spend a lot of their time in the air instead of actually making money. And another thing to note is looking over here where we're getting this steel from. There is a lot of steel waiting to go out, and we don't really have any planes over here. They all might be hovering around trying to land, but I think we could probably afford to upgrade those planes if possible. So, looking at our planes, currently we're using this Lockheed L100 plane, which does pretty well for what it was doing, but now we have much bigger and much faster planes. So I think we'll go with this Boeing 757. It's sort of a nice middle ground for speed and capacity as well as running costs. So we'll just replace all of those planes. It should be able to go much quicker now. And then we'll do the same on our other line here. And I think for each of these we might even get rid of 1 aircraft, just to help ease up the traffic a tiny bit. Alright, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll need to make sure that we continue to make a profit on those, because we obviously don't want to replace it with vehicles that will end up losing us money. Now we're going to come back and keep looking at some of our trains, and as much as I'd like to figure out how to get these trains working, I think what we're gonna do is look for some of the really old lines that we still have running and figure out ways that we can improve those. So here's a train that's very old. This is, I think, one of the first lines we set up on the map, and we've only ever replaced the train on here once. And so this train is very old, very outdated. Despite still making us money, I think we could do a little bit better. So first of all, looking down here at the tools factory, if we look, we can see which places are taking all of the tools, and we can see here at the station we do have some tools waiting. Now this train does seem to pretty much fit exactly the kind of need. However, if we look up here, these tools aren't getting shipped out, and Louisville is currently a mess. However, Louisville is something we're going to worry about in a later video. Hopefully we'll get this city moving again soon, but I do want to focus on the train here. So let's see if we can find something that's a little bit better than this and can still probably make us money. Alright, so here's the train that we're going to end up going with. We chose the EMD GP9 as our engine. We get about 50 miles per hour more top speed. We get a little bit more power and tractive effort. If we look here, on high slopes we still don't get up to top speed, but that top speed is still about as quick as the current train. And we tried to keep the running costs similar. So we chose an engine that was under $1 million per year for running cost. And we also reduced the amount of boxcars. So hopefully this train will begin to improve its profit margins just a little bit so that we can be consistently making a profit on this line. Alright, so coming into our road vehicle line statistics, we're just going to come through and adjust some of our numbers. So we can see here our Clearwater passenger bus loop clearly isn't getting used by that many people, and it's losing us a lot of money. So after looking around and seeing that there's just not really many people waiting at most of the stops, we could probably afford to get rid of 4 or 5 buses here. So we'll sell 5 of these, and we'll just simply replace all of them just to get their condition back up to good. So now hopefully we'll be losing less money since we cut out some of the running costs. And now we can move on to the next focus. So just coming through and seeing which bus loops are losing us the most money. This one in Toledo here, which is fairly new, is currently losing a ton of money. However, I can't really tell if this is just due to being stuck in traffic or not really any demand. I think it might be a little bit of both. So what we'll do is we'll come in and we'll sell 5 vehicles, because we don't want to be running our buses with hardly anyone in. like this bus here. However, we do want to meet demand enough to make a profit from it. And now the next one is the other bus line in Toledo. However, this one I do think might be a bit of a traffic issue, because we can see all of our buses are stopped and backed up here. And I'm not really too sure how to fix this. I think we just might need to wait for the traffic to clear itself up. Once we improve connections between cities in this area, hopefully we'll begin to see traffic not be so heavy. Or what we could do is add some bus lanes. So down this whole main stretch, we'll upgrade this to a 6-lane road with a bus lane, just to get all of our trucks and buses off of the main traffic areas. So I think bringing this all the way out to this intersection here is good, and we can see straight away all of our trucks start using this lane. So hopefully that'll help out as well with traffic. Alright, and a lot of our issues right now are sort of in the Louisville area, our Louisville oil line, and the bus lines running around. Again, this is all due to traffic, and not something we're gonna really tackle in this episode. As much as I'd like to get this functioning in this video, we're gonna go through and start making a profit first before we make any major investments in infrastructure. So here's another line that's very old and could be very much due for an upgrade. In fact, everything around this area could probably use an upgrade. But these desperately need replaced with better trucks. So we'll come through, we'll pick out the best one for carrying planks. And I believe this one probably works the best. So we'll replace those. And because we've probably tripled our capacity, we don't need this many trucks running back and forth. So let's sell 10 trucks, and hopefully we'll begin to see things improve here. And I think actually what we're gonna do is, because we're getting bigger trucks coming through here, I think we need to increase the amount of space that they have. So we're just gonna come in and extend these platform lengths, and we can add some storage, and then we can add back in this street access, connect it back up to here, and hopefully now these trucks will be able to travel faster and more efficiently between its stops, and that might even help out traffic in Toledo, since a lot of these trucks are driving through Toledo. Alright, so here we have a ton of trucks sort of creating traffic for themselves, and this is backing up this whole bus line. So I think we need to figure out a way to get rid of a few of these trucks. I think one way to do that is to sell some of these vehicles probably a good amount of these, since they're now carrying a lot more oil than they were before, and they're able to travel much faster. We can see some of the ones that only left about half full. So in order to get the most money out of them, we could definitely afford to make some space between each delivery, just so things don't get so backed up. And I think one more thing we could do is extend the platform lengths, since these trucks are much longer, so we can have a few more trucks sort of waiting when they get here. So hopefully this will free up this road just a little bit more, and it might even be worth it to make this a 4-lane road, just so that it allows for the buses to slip by and go straight if they need to, and for the trucks to use the right lane to get in and out. So that already seems to have cleared up a lot of this traffic, and hopefully that'll translate into our buses here, because we can see these can make a profit when they're functioning as they should, but we just need to make sure that they're able to function that way. Alright, and coming back to our line statistics, these two lines clearly aren't making us much of any money, and I'm not too sure if it's a amount of vehicles thing or a train thing or just a logistical, like it's not going to work type of thing. Sort of as a last-ditch effort, and I think we're going to sell 2 trains on each one of these lines, because if we look here, it seems like they're all operating well, but they all only sort of have about half full trains, which is not what we want to see. So we'll come in here, sell 2 trains from each line, and just to confirm that these are also running sort of half empty, which it looks like most of them are. So we'll leave it like that. So this will also free up some of the traffic we have on our lines running through Corpus Christi, Clearwater, and Alexandria, that whole area. So hopefully that'll help improve the efficiency of our other trains as well. And I also think for these 2 loops here, we will also get rid of 2 more trains from each line to help cut down on costs and improve the amount of profit per train. So now traffic should clear up a lot better on our track that surrounds the river here, which hopefully will improve the amount of money we're making and the efficiency, so these trains don't have to stop every few hundred feet essentially, because we can see back here it's already building up. But if we come and look here, we can see we're starting to get our road vehicles back to getting better, slowly, but it's starting to get better. And it looks like our planes made a profit, a pretty decent profit for the first time in a little bit. Boats are just doing as they've been doing, and our trains, even though it dipped recently, it did go up in the last period, so we'll just have to keep an eye on this next period as well. And I think the last thing we're going to do in this video is sort of fix Bridgeport a little bit so it does have a main road that runs through the city, because right now this road and this road don't really align anywhere, and so that creates some issues when it comes to traffic coming and flowing through the city. So we'll just come in. I think right around here is probably the best spot to do this. We can delete those roads and connect them up with a 4-lane road. And then just come back through and add back in the roads that we deleted. So we'll clean this up just a little bit. These two rows will have to pull back and connect them a little bit closer to where they make sense. And hopefully this will allow traffic to flow much better through Bridgeport, as a lot of people are coming through, and I think they're getting onto this bridge. So pretty soon, I think in the next video, we're gonna handle traffic in these 3 cities, and then we'll start to get bus lines going across these bridges to hopefully help with all of this traffic here if the new bus lines in these cities don't already clear it up themselves. Alright, so with that, that's going to be all for this video. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or feedback, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.